Hi, it's Whitney Owens here with Water's Edge Counseling. Here to talk to you about anxiety and how oftentimes people do sometimes know they're anxious, but oftentimes we don't even know we're anxious. And so we can have symptoms of anxiety and not realize that they're symptoms of anxiety. So I want to talk some about what those are. Some of the common symptoms of anxiety, the first one is lack of sleep. And this is the one I go to first in my sessions with a new client is, how's your sleep? And if they say they're having a hard time falling asleep, hard time staying asleep, or waking up early in the morning with difficulty falling back asleep, those are all signs of anxiety. Another sign of anxiety is changes in our eating and that we have a lower appetite, or maybe when we eat, we feel a little nauseous. That's another sign of anxiety. Anxiety symptoms of restlessness, like maybe your legs feel restless, or you just feel like you can't sit in one spot, or somewhat the opposite, you feel tense, where your muscles are really hard to relax. Those are definitely symptoms of anxiety. Some people will describe anxiety with actual physical symptoms, so that might be a tightness in their chest, sweating in their hands and feet. Some people even say they feel dizzy, or they hear ringing in their ears, or they might feel lightheaded, heart racing. All these are physical forms of anxiety manifesting themselves. And it's important that you pay attention to those. A lot of people who feel anxious have difficulty focusing. So they might start on a task and then they move on to another task and another task, or they're not able to complete a task. Those are also signs of anxiety. If you're finding that you're feeling some of these things, it's important that you pay attention to them and that you take steps to relax yourself. Take steps to consider, what was the trigger that made me feel this way? So if you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night, instead of just laying there, ask yourself, why am I feeling so anxious? And try to consider what that trigger might be, because you want to deal with that trigger and not just feel so anxious all the time. And that might be, you pull out your journal and you write about how you feel. You might not really be sure what your anxiety is, but if you start writing, sometimes that'll come out in your writing. So if you find yourself feeling like heavy in your chest or difficulty focusing, just take a time out and ask yourself, what started making me feel this way? Am I feeling anxious about something or not? And take time to pay attention to that. Your body is speaking something to you, and you don't want to ignore it. You want to pay attention to it, because we at Water's Edge Counseling want you to have the very best life possible. And that's going to mean taking care of anything that you're worried and anxious about. And so if you're finding that you're feeling really overwhelmed or you're feeling really tired, then I want you to consider if you might be feeling anxious. And I want you to take some steps to relax yourself, focus, and take care of that anxiety. And if you're finding that it's overwhelming and it's hard to handle, and you've done some of these steps and you can't get able to manage it, then give us a call. We have professionals. We can do some therapies like cognitive behavior therapy, acceptance and commitment therapy, dialectical behavior therapy. These are all therapies that have been proven as successful in managing anxiety. We are here for you, and we hope that you reach out to us, and we want you to have the best life possible.